Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Team FitRevolution call. My name is Alexa. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a coach on Team FitRevolution. Lauren is my coach, and she is on the call, but she's currently en route. Is that how you say it? En route to Costa Rica. So I'm filling in and hosting for her, and I'm really excited for our call to this week because we're going to be talking with one of my biggest social media inspirations, Erin. So a couple stats about Erin. She is a Star Diamond Beachbody coach as well as an attorney. So she has been coaching since the end of July 2013, and she actually started growing her business during the last year of law school and while studying for the bar exam. So for those of you who are busy and don't have a ton of time to build your business, she is a great person to listen to because obviously Erin, you know all about not having a ton of time, but she's completely grown her business over the last almost coming up on 2 years this year. So I'm really excited to talk with her today. So she's also the winner of the September 2014 Beachbody Success Club contest with 207 Success Club points. That's crazy. She's a top 100 for the November and December Beachbody Team Volume contest, and she's currently ranked top 100 in the company and top 50 in the West region. So I'm really excited, like I said, to hear from Erin. She's going to be talking with us tonight about the power of social media because she has really utilized social media to really grow her business, Instagram especially. So I know that is something that, at least on my team, a lot of coaches are always asking me about is how to use social media to grow your business. And Erin is like the expert. So I'm super pumped to hear from her and hear her story and hear all of the great advice that she has for us. So Erin, if you want to just get started, I'm going to put it on your face. Hold on, spotlight video. There we go.
Awesome. Well, hey everyone, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you guys tonight and to see all of your lovely faces. So yeah, everything Alexa said, that's basically a brief kind of synopsis about me. Like she said, I started this business my last year of law school, and poor Stacy Palmer is a coach that signed me up, and poor Stacy had to be so persistent and very patient with me because I was like y'all's worst nightmare. I was the coach or the person that did not believe in Beachbody. I would ignore Stacy a lot. I'm sorry, Stacy. I was just like, no, I'm never going to be a coach. No. And then I ended up signing up. And obviously it's been one of the best decisions I've made. So I run my business I'll say 99.9% just to be fair. But pretty much all my business comes from Instagram. And so social media is a huge tool in your business. And even my coaches struggle with using Instagram, Facebook, and those sorts of things for their business because of the big thing that I'm going to be talking about, which is sharing your story. Because many people are very hesitant to share their story with other people and kind of put themselves out there and be vulnerable. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about sharing your story, the importance of consistency, the importance of being intentional when you post something, did I go over branding yourself? That we're going to talk about that too. And then just some general tips, and then I'll kind of leave it open for you guys to ask me some questions. So first off, I'm going to talk to you guys about branding yourself. And that's huge. And when I get new coaches and when I'm taking someone on, I talk to them about, okay, if we're going to brand yourself, we need to start at your why. What is your why? Why are you coaching? And what are you doing? What are your intentions with this business? Are you a mom, a full-time working mom that's looking to, stay at home with her kids more? Are you, like for me, it was that I wanted to be able to, not have to worry about law school loans, and I didn't want to have to worry about bills because law students are pretty broke. So I wanted to have that financial freedom. I also wanted to travel. I wanted financial security, so that way when I, was sworn in as a lawyer, I didn't have to just take the first legal job that fell in my lap. I could pick something that I was passionate about. Um, so think about, first off, when you're branding yourself, what is your why? Because your why is going to help create a lot of content for you. And think about too, so starting off with your why, then, from there, take a look at, okay, well, here's my why, and then here are all the things that I'm interested in. So what things, in your life do you do a lot? Like, what are your hobbies? What are you passionate about? Use that as content. And I'm sure you guys have heard this before. When you're branding yourself and you're thinking about these things, you need to pick about 3 to 6 things that you want to represent. So like, again, for me, it was at the time that I started Beachbody was that I was a law student. I was really into yoga and health and fitness. And I had my blog that I was doing pretty regularly. So those are kinds of the things that I kind of centered a lot of my posts around. So think about those things. And once you have those things, you need to then change your bio up, and you need to make your bio really interesting. And I'm sure you guys have heard that before. Chelsea Pearson talks about it a lot. A lot of folks do. Shailene Johnson. It's really important that you change your bio, but the only way to get there is to make sure that you are remembering what your why is so that you can properly brand yourself. So, and there's, I think it's in the files tab in FitRevolution. If not, I'll upload it. But there's the Instagram bio tricks document. And so I won't go into detail about that because there's lots of awesome info in there. But you want to switch your bio up, make it interesting, use emojis, use special fonts, center your bio, have your email in your bio, have your personal website in your bio, or your Facebook page. I wouldn't ever put your Beachbody website up there. It's just too hard for people to navigate. And so I would use a Facebook page, if anything. Better yet, if you have a blog or, a personal website of some sort. So start there, right? That's how you're going to start branding yourself, right? You want yourself to be recognizable on social media. You want to also think about things like, okay, if I'm going to post, about X, Y, and Z, that are the things that I have picked to brand myself, I need to think about, how, like, the lighting of photos, right? I need to make sure that my lighting is good, that I'm not just posting dark photos that are like blurry and weird and we can't see anything going on, right? You want to have clean, clear, crisp photos that, really represent what you're about. They represent you. I tell my coaches, try to come up with a theme, right? Do you have a color scheme that you like to use a lot? Is there a type of feel to your photography that you want? All those things are really important, because when you're using Instagram or Facebook as your tool for your business, you have to think of this like a marketing strategy, right? As an advertisement, one big magazine, one big advertisement. And so you want every photo that you post to look aesthetically appealing, look like it all flows together, look like it look like a magazine. I think it was Shailene Johnson who said that. And that's been a big thing that I try to tell my coaches, So, and there is a document that I have that has a bunch of links on good websites that go over photography tips, marketing tips, other stuff that I'm happy to put in Team Fit Revolution, because I think the old one is up there. So I have an updated one. So I'll post that for you guys. But so again, those sorts of things are really important when you're branding yourself, and that's where you start. You have to start by branding yourself, because then once you brand yourself, right, you know what your content is, you know what you want people to recognize you for. You have like a theme. Your photos start looking cohesive, like they flow together. That's when you can start really focusing in on sharing your story, right? Get all that housekeeping stuff out of the way, the branding out of the way, and then really focus on sharing and developing your story. And I'll tell you, this has been really huge for me in my business, is that I try to be as vulnerable and transparent and open and as honest as I can be about my journey. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I don't even know if I mentioned it, Erin Morgan on Instagram. I have not had like the easiest of journeys, especially in the last year, right? So I still post about, gaining weight, losing weight, being diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. I posted about failing the bar exam for the first time and having to retake that. I post about when I fall off the wagon and like I want to eat like all the carbs there ever were. I talk about kind of everything, and I think the feedback that I get from people is that they really appreciate that I'm very honest and I'm just very open. I don't try to only portray the good stuff, because that just comes off really fake. To be honest with you, when you're only wanting to post about the things that go well on your journey, people don't really relate to that, And so it's important for you to really focus on sharing, all of your journey. So, and with that too, another thing that I see quite often is that, people might share their story one time. They think of sharing their story as, okay, I'm just going to post it one time. Here's like the timeline of how my weight loss has gone or whatever. That's not what I mean by sharing your story. When I say sharing your story, I mean the everyday posts that you're making. So things like, here's my workout for the day. And don't just take a photo with like, your like Beachbody workout and be like, hi, I did T25 today. Because I totally did that as one of my first posts. I was like, T25 sweat or whatever. Don't do that. You want to do things like you see Alexa and Emma and Brittany doing videos of their workouts. That's actually the most effective thing you can do. Post-workout sweaty selfies are fine. Those sorts of things. Get creative with it though. So post about workouts. Post about your meal plan. And when I say post about your meal plan, I'm not just saying, okay, take a photo of the dish of food, right? That's fine every so often, but if that's every single post that you do, people kind of get bored with that. So mix it up. Post your favorite recipe from your meal plan that day. Post a video of you making your favorite Shakeology, right? Post, if you go out to eat, post about your healthy choices when you went out to eat and how that fits in with whatever meal plan that you're doing. But get creative when you're talking about the food that you're eating and how you're staying on track with your nutrition. Get creative with it. Because the last thing people want to see is every day just like a photo of your Shakeology. Like, here's my morning Shakeo, and it's like an up-close thing of like chocolate Shakeo in like a cup. That's one I saw the other day. And I was like, what is that? So make it exciting, make it interesting for people. Think about what you would be attracted to. If you saw something on Instagram, what would catch your eye? It's probably not, a photo of something really close up in dark lighting that you don't really know what it is. And someone just says, my daily Shakeology, right? That doesn't really grab people. You want like a photo that maybe says like my favorite Shakeology recipe, and it's nicely lit, and it's it's in a nice glass and not in like a dirty glass or something, or those sorts of things. So you have to think about those things. Other things that you can post about on your daily basis is if like, okay, say part of what your brand is you are a full-time working professional. Talk about how you fit in your nutrition throughout the day. How do you sneak in the snacks to stay regular on your meal plan? How do you sneak in the workout? Like, when do you do your workouts and why? What's hard about balancing health and fitness with being a full-time working professional, right? You have to start thinking outside of the box and thinking about, okay, well, what would people want to know about me, my life, my brand, right? If you're a mom, talk about how you balance, kids running around and activities and this, that, and the other with, your business and with everything else you have going on, your health and fitness. Talk about those things, right? And like I said, always, talk about the ups and the downs. I can't stress that enough. And I know a lot of people are just, that really takes you outside your comfort zone with sharing your journey that way. And honestly, there's no tip I can give you on how to make it any easier except for just do it. You have to do it. There's no point, if you have a story to tell, there is no point in you working this business if you're not going to share it. Because as coaches, we're here to build relationships and connect with people. And you do that through sharing your story. And most of the time we're doing that through sharing our story through social media. So you have to really put yourself out there to connect with people, because they aren't going to connect with programs and products. You guys are not going to connect with your post that you do, once a week or every other week, like join my challenge group. It's the story along the way that they're going to connect with, not that post. So you have to really think about that. Think about, okay, if you were, remember back to when you signed up. The majority of you, it wasn't like an instant decision, right? Maybe you were establishing a relationship with the coach that signed you up. You were following what they were doing. You were seeing the things that they were posting, and you connected with that. In whatever way it was, you connected with it. And so you need to remember that when you're posting things too. You can't just, post sporadically, and that's another thing I'm going to get to about consistency. You can't post sporadically and only post, oh, I did this workout today, or here's my Shakeology for the day, because that doesn't tell a story. People want to get to know you, the person behind the account. And so the more willing you are to open yourself up and talk about those things that maybe you don't want to talk about, because it is embarrassing. I know for me, the hardest thing for me to share actually to date was the day I failed the bar exam. I knew it was public record, and people could go look it up on the New Mexico State Bar website, and everyone had been asking me on Instagram, have you passed? Did you pass? And it was, I didn't even want to make the post, to be completely honest, but I thought, you know what? This has been a part of my journey since I started. People knew I was in law school. People knew I was studying for the bar exam. People knew I took the bar exam. People are going to know. I just got to talk about it, And that was the scariest post I made, but it was one of the best posts I made because I gained so much support and so much encouragement from folks, and it's just continued. Same thing, with my diagnosis with polycystic ovarian syndrome. My weight has kind of gone up and down. So when I started my weight loss journey in January of 2013, I lost 50 pounds within the first 4.5, 5 months. And then after that, my weight started to kind of fluctuate a bit, which was kind of odd because I was working out more and eating a lot better because Beachbody programs had taught me better nutrition. And I was just being more consistent with working out. And so I didn't really understand. So then my weight started to fluctuate. And then over the last year, it's just kind of continued to go up. And I just wasn't understanding what was going on. And I just kept talking to people about it the entire time. I didn't know I had PCOS at the time. I had no idea, but I kept talking about it. And then when I was finally diagnosed, I said, here's what's going on with me. This is why. And, people are really supportive of it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I have some girls on my team, who have some medical stuff going on, and they're afraid to talk about it. And I tell them, that's part of your journey. Someone's going to connect with that. They're not going to connect with someone who is perfect and never has any issues and never has any setbacks. You have to be willing to open up and share about yourself. And so that leads me into being really consistent with posting, guys. I can't stress this enough. I'm sure you guys hear it from all of your coaches, but let me tell you, you cannot post just one time a day. You can't even post once every other day, once a week. You have got to be very consistent, and you need to be very intentional with your posts. And so I tell Mike, I know the business activity tracker says 3 times a day, and that should be your bare minimum, to be completely honest with you. Your absolute bare minimum, right? What I do with my coaches is I do kind of a stair-stepper approach, because most of the time when folks come to me, they're not used to posting that much on social media, and that's understandable. So what I do is I set small goals. I say, okay, well, this week we're going to do 1 post a day. Every single day you have to post, right? And from there we go, okay, next week 2 posts a day, every single day. And we stair-step them up until they're getting to between 3 to 6 posts every single day, preferably more like 6. And so that's how we kind of build them up. And that's, if you're feeling okay, I struggle with being consistent, I struggle with remembering, I struggle with finding what to post for 6 posts a day, give yourself that grace period, that 6-week period to build yourself up and get more comfortable with posting that much. Because like I've said, consistency is what will bring you more followers, right? And as as you're working your business, right, you're only going to have so many people that you can talk to in your close circle, right? Your warm market, as they say. You're going to run out of friends and family really quickly. You're going to run out of coworkers really quickly. So you have got to be expanding your market at all times. And to do that, you need to be consistently posting to your social media. So you're, attracting more traffic to your page and getting more followers. So be really consistent with posting and sharing, your story. Every post that you make, like I said, needs to be intentional. It needs to go back and relate to sharing your story. If it has nothing to do with sharing your journey, you probably shouldn't post it, right? If it's some like random thing, you probably shouldn't post it. It needs to be very intentional. And it also needs to relate back to your brand. Everything needs to, kind of jive together. So when you're posting consistently, another thing that you need to really remember to do is to use hashtags and use them effectively. There's a right way to use them. So number one, the app that I use, because I don't like to come up with hashtags every time, and I'm sure you've heard about this app, it's called Tags for Likes. I have a custom one. They allow like a custom group where you can create your own. So I pulled some from the health and fitness stuff that they had, added some Beachbody stuff, added my own stuff that fit within my brand. And so that's what I do. And I just hit copy and then I hit paste in my comments on my photos. So don't ever post them in your caption unless it has to do something like witty or funny or it fits in with the sentence, right? A hashtag here and there. But if you're doing bulk hashtags, you need to put them in the comments. And, if it's a really good post, you want to keep getting traffic to it, have them up there for a while, delete it, and then repost again because it's just going to put that traffic back to your page again. So make sure that you're always using hashtags. That is key. And so another thing with hashtags, right? So that's just to drive traffic to your page. But it's not just about driving the traffic. You now have to take that traffic and you need to convert it into meaningful relationships to where you can then invite people to challenge groups and invite people to the business opportunity. So to do that, again, you need to be consistent with this every single day. You need to be liking people's photos who like your stuff, who comment on your stuff. You need to be commenting on people's stuff every single day, right? So start taking notice of who's commenting a lot on your stuff, who's consistently liking your photos and the things that you're posting about. Reach out to them, send them a direct message, right? You start talking with them on their page, then send them a direct message. Invite them to join you on Facebook or invite them to join a challenge group, however you want to do it. But start first by, creating the traffic to your page through hashtags, then starting and going back through your posts, looking at who's liking and commenting on your stuff, going and following them, liking their stuff, commenting on their stuff. From there, to find more people, right? So say you do all that and you're like, I still need to find more folks. I really want to keep expanding my market. You then need to go back through hashtags and start looking for people that, catch your eye, right? You need to find folks that stand out to you. And you don't need to just do health and fitness hashtags. You can do anything like cats of Instagram, yoga, I don't even know. There's that's actually where I found a lot of folks on my health and fitness journey to begin with, was through yoga hashtags, because I was really into yoga before Beachbody. And so, don't necessarily think like it just has to be Beachbody stuff. And actually I would encourage you to not go to Beachbody hashtags when you're trying to find people, because that's already saturated and you just kind of want to avoid that. You want to get people who aren't affiliated with Beachbody. So use those hashtags to find people. Find hashtags that correspond with your brand. If you are a mom, search the hashtag mom, or, stay-at-home mom, or mama four, or whatever. But go search those hashtags and start following people, liking their stuff, commenting on it, and creating relationships with them. Because at the end of the day, you have to create relationships with people. And you can do it very effectively through social media. It's a very powerful tool. And if you utilize it properly, it's going to help your business take off. Because like I said, my income is from Instagram. That is how I do my business. I don't do it on Facebook, although I have coaches who do it on Facebook. But you know, I don't do Facebook. I don't do Twitter. I'm starting to learn how to do YouTube, but Instagram is like my jam. And so, you know, those are kind of the big things to remember. Some other general tips, you know, when you're thinking about, okay, how am I going to do Instagram? I'm doing Facebook, I'm doing Twitter, I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing a blog. You have to figure out first what social media platforms you want to focus on, okay? So, and this even if you don't choose Instagram, say you choose Facebook and YouTube, like I have a coach who does that. That is fine. Find only 1 to 2 social media platforms that, you know, work for you and your business and focus on those. Make sure that, you know, if you're using Facebook for posts, you can do the sponsored posts. You can, you know, that, you know, you pay and they sponsor you and get your ad out there. You can focus on things that are trending, those sorts of things. With YouTube, you can find, you want to use things like when you're posting your video, you want to make sure that your title has popular keywords and popular search terms that are being used. You want to use the tags at the bottom, which are like the same thing as hashtags, but you want to use those at the bottom of the video. So there's lots of different things, but find the platform that works for you. That's key. And making sure that, again, you brand yourself. You share your stories, you share, you know, what's going on with you. And not just health and fitness related, because I have to stress that, because I feel like a lot of coaches end up mixing that up. They think it only has to be health and fitness related. You can still talk about personal things. That's still a part of your journey. That's still part of your story. So still talk about that, right? And then you want to be really consistent and really intentional with your posts. Take some time to think about it. Don't just post something on a whim if it doesn't fit in with your brand, if it doesn't make any sense to post. So I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have anything else for you. Those are probably my best practice tips. I guess some other like general things would be, you know, make sure that you're watermarking your photos, especially if it's a transformation photo or a photo of you, watermark them. I use iWatermark to watermark mine. You know, and always, and I guess another thing to talk about, right? So I say talk about sharing your ups and your downs and the good and the bad. If you're sharing the bad, always put a positive spin on your post. You don't have to be like, oh my God, so like fake happy about it, right? You just want to put a positive spin on things, because you don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but you want to get your point across that, you know, maybe you had a setback, maybe things are hard right now, but you're going to keep pushing forward. You're going to keep, you know, tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to, you know, tackle the day kind of thing. You know, so keep that in mind. Always have a positive spin on things whenever you're posting. So other than that, I guess I can open it up for some Q&A if you want. Anyone have any questions?
That's awesome. Thank you, Erin. That was really great info. If you weren't taking notes, you guys need to rewatch this and take some good notes with this. Anybody have any questions? You can go ahead and type them in the chat box or unmute yourself. Anybody?
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay. You were talking about when you post videos, like encouraging posting videos. So I've just done it a little bit because I am not very good at doing the videos myself. And so lately, like what I've been doing is, you know, I'll do it, but then I like run backwards and do the thing and then like edit it. Is that what everyone does? Or is there a better, like, you know, I know there's a timer for a photo. Is there something like that for a video or some easier?
What I do is I just put the video on, and then I use Video Shop because I'm not as savvy as some folks with iMovie. I can't figure iMovie out, so I use Video Shop because it's really easy.
Okay.
And we'll cut my clips, you know, and say it's like one big long video that I want to do. Okay, here's a couple different exercises that I want to feature. I'll just keep uploading it, you know, and trim each video. And then I'll go back through and put, you know, what do you call it? The thing between the transitions. There we go.
Right.
Okay.
And then the text.
And what was it called? Video what?
Video Shop.
Okay, because yeah, I just did iMovie last week, and it was okay. But if there's something easier, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm still, trying to figure out iMovie, which is so funny because I'm like savvy with other editing software, but for some reason iMovie and me just don't jive. I have it, but
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. And I think another thing with movies too, or in videos, is get creative. Don't just do workouts. Like I said, do you making your favorite recipes. Do motivational talk on there. Give motivational quotes. Really let your personality shine, because it's the easiest way is through videos. Anyone else have any questions?
No? No other questions?
I don't think so.
All right, if not, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for watching the recording, and if you got on live, thank you to you guys too. I'm going to stop the recording really quick.